Hey, this is Rick. Welcome to Spit Take WrestleCast. Shooting Star Press, AEW Morning After. I know that's a mouthful. So today we are going to talk about wrestling news and the morning after AEW Dynamite. So let's talk about some news first, but first just make sure you check our flagship show, Spit Take Podcast. Comes out every Friday. You can find it on all the places you get your podcast. Find us on all your social media sites, Facebook's X. Tony Khan was supposed to make an announcement last night. Yes, that's supposed to be delayed till next week because of all the news that came out that was kind of dominated by WWE, from the Vince McMahon lawsuit to Rock coming to the board of directors to WWE signing a deal with Raw. So we'll see what's going on there. Tony Khan needs something huge because it seems to me that AEW's in the dirt, to tell you the truth. Last night, tickets sold. 1,798 tickets sold. The attendance record is low. Very low. When you watched the show, you looked in the crowd, you couldn't see anything. They kept it dark. Also, Okada. There's been a bidding war between WWE and AEW for him. AEW supposedly got the upper hand as far as who is winning the bidding war. But WWE is saying if he wants to come to WWE, he'll come to WWE. Because WWE is going to win the battle no matter what. As far as ratings, as far as who's making the money, WWE is not going to care when it comes down to it. And that makes sense. Like, they're not going to pay more money. TKO is not going to pay more money. They can match it if they want. AEW is just going to waste this talent. That's all that's going to happen. WWE basically said if he wants fame, he'll come to us. If he wants money, he'll go to them. He'll still make money if he goes to WWE. He'll just have a bit more if he goes to AEW. Quite honestly, can AEW afford to pay him that much? That's what we're looking at. The announcement, going back to the announcement that was held off was possibly what is being speculated is Okada and Mercedes Moné. They thought they've had Mercedes Moné for a while. They were originally going to make the announcement Saturday, but they realized it's probably best for them to wait. With all the Vince stuff, they figured nobody's going to be talking about it. So they figured they'd wait on it. Alright, so let's get into the show. And the show starts off with Jon Moxley and Jeff Hardy. Decent match. And, one of those matches where it's kind of like any other time, you're looking at a legend versus, one of the top guys today. Kind of a dream match, if you will, seen in a B-level company. I know I'm going to shit on AEW a little bit, but I like AEW. I thought the last couple weeks of AEW probably were a little better than this week. I thought this week was a little dead, to tell you the truth. But I thought this match was pretty great, to tell you the truth. A pretty solid match. And a solid match for Jeff Hardy. And how Jeff Hardy has been the last few years with his drug problems and stuff. Like, this was a solid Jeff Hardy match. And I'm not a big Jon Moxley guy. Because Jon Moxley, I get tired of the bleeding within 5 seconds of the match. And the weird brawling stuff. And the stuff he does with his tongue and jaw. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he acts like Joe Biden when he comes out in his entrance. He looks like he doesn't know where to go or what he's doing. But I thought the match was pretty solid for them. I'd give this match a solid B+. Next match was Hangman Page and Toa Leona. It was an okay match. They tried to build up Toa a lot. It was a pretty hard-hitting fight. Page tried hitting the buckshot lariat, but he wasn't able to hit it. But he was able to hit the crucifix, and Page was able to keep him down. It was a decent match. Wasn't anything special. It's just, Hangman Page versus a mid-carder. Toa looks pretty impressive. Leona sending Heyman out of the ring. That looked pretty bad. But there was a couple good spots on there. Like Leona throwing Page over the top rope with one arm. I really like that. Next was Wardlow versus Commander. This was a pretty decent match. I like how Commander... it wasn't quite a squash match, but there was some fight in Commander. But Wardlow got to show off a little bit. Wardlow got to show off his little power bomb. But it was more of a filler match. Chris Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher. Surprised Chris Jericho's not canceled yet with the whole Kylie Ray thing. I know a lot of people are out crying about that. But I wonder how long that's going to be swept under the rug before that gets called up again. You know how these things go. They get swept under the rug a little bit. They come up. They get swept under the rug a little bit. They come up. And then they all come up. I like this match. I haven't seen much of Fletcher. I thought Fletcher looked pretty good. Jericho was solid as usual. Jericho's still able to perform to a moderately top level. I'd say this was about a C-level match. Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie. Toni Storm joined the commentary team. Toni Storm's really a blast from the past. She really gives me old school WWE vibes. Purrazzo won. I thought this was a decent match, being the only female match on the card. I think there should have been at least one other woman's female match on the card. They're really underselling the women's matches here. And then the Young Bucks and Darby Allin had a interaction backstage. Apparently Darby Allin's been having heat backstage. I don't know what that's all about. And then we had Swerve Strickland versus RVD. I really like this. RVD looked really good. Swerve Strickland, stellar as usual. It was a hardcore match. Brian Cage interfered. Then Hook interfered. Swerve got the win with the Swerve Stomp. But overall, these Dynamite episodes, when you see an episode of Raw, the problem with Raw is it's 3 hours long. But when you see an episode of Raw, when they're setting up so much, sure, the segments go on a little long on Raw. What am I missing here in AEW? They also had the Golden Bullet Club, the Bang Bang Scissor Me Club or something like that, which was like the new DX. That was pretty funny. I forgot about that, so I did like that. But going back to comparing it to Raw, I know it's not Raw, and they want to be more wrestling oriented, but you don't really get a chance to really show off a lot of their personality, I don't think. I think they're trying to go 100 miles an hour, and you don't get to tell a story as much. No story is unfolding. I don't know. It's just not as intricate storytelling, I don't think, as a WWE. And trust me, I'm not saying the WWE has the greatest storytelling all the time. I've been a WWE fan my whole life. I know they'll just drop a story in the middle of nowhere and it gets annoying because then it's like, well, that just went nowhere. But when a story goes well, a story goes well. And I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I just feel like the best thing about wrestling is good storytelling for me. Good characters and good storytelling. Like, a good match is great, but a good match has to be backed by a good storytelling and good characters. I have to be invested with what's going on in the culmination of the story and invested in the characters in the story. And I just don't get that in AEW a lot of times. You know, like, I'll like the style of some wrestlers, but I don't feel like I get to know the characters a lot of times with wrestlers in AEW. I don't know the character of Darby Allin. I really don't. And I gotta admit, I'm more of a casual AEW fan. I mean, I know Darby Allin almost died as a kid in a car crash because of his uncle. And so he's like a dead boy. And that's it. And he likes to skate. That's a thing. I'm going to be watching it more now that I'm covering it more. But I feel like even as a casual fan, I should know more. Not know more, but feel more for that. And I don't. But I feel like they don't know how to build some characters. I don't feel the character of Wardlow. He's just a guy that power bombs a lot of people. And that's fine. Maybe that's all he is. I know there was a time where during the MJF feud, they tried building an empathetic type of character with him towards the end there. But I just feel like there's just more that needs to be done to build this character. He's just not just some guy that goes out there and there's catchphrases. There's a backstory. There's rhythm to his voice. There's quirks and he's got a style. I mean, there's more to it that I want to know. There's a personality that I want to know and that I want to connect, and I just don't feel like I get that with AEW. And AEW doesn't give that a chance. You get short little interviews here and there. I'll get a short little interview with Orange Cassidy. And that's it. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. And you can tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me in the comments I'm wrong if I'm completely off on this. That would be great. Please, listen every day. We do this. I plan on doing a Morning After SmackDown on Saturday, so check that out. And then next week sometime, me and Zach are going to do our bi-weekly podcast checkup. So check that out. We'll probably go live some night. I'm thinking next Thursday night. And so we'll go live then and kind of catch up on wrestling news and what's been going on. And like I said, check out our weekly podcast. It comes out every Friday, but you can listen to it anytime on all the places you get your podcast, including YouTube and Rumble. And, check that out. And you can follow us on social media, TikTok, Facebook, X, and all that. So check us out there. And level up, guys.